I've been here at the Consolidated Gold Mine for about 15 years. I give tours here. Plus every April we have the World Gold Panning Championships, and I want to invite you to come on down and give that a shot, or at least watch it. Really something to check out. Or come on down, we'll give you a tour. Gold panning comes with that. Learn how to pan for gold. Really something to check into. Come on, see us. Now earlier I mentioned about the gold always found in veins of quartz. Well, a vein of quartz with gold is usually only about 2 or 3 inches thick, and sometimes they're about as small as a hair. What they found down here was so huge that they didn't measure it in inches. This vein was measured in feet. They found a vein with gold that was 22 feet thick and basically filled up this entire area. So all this, top to bottom, side to side, all of this was quartz containing gold. And it's still today about the biggest ever found in the world. And exactly how much gold they got out of it, no one knows. When this mine shut down 100 years ago, the records they had somehow got all burned up. But of all of our study and research, old magazines, reports, so far we found one day a reporter come down doing an article for a mining journal about this place. Well, that reporter saw what they got and wrote it down and made it the only day the whole 6 years we know what they got out of here. Because they mined from 1900 to 1906. 6 years. We only know one day. 54 pounds, 9 ounces out of here in one day. 54 pounds, 9 ounces. Now by today's prices, that's about $500,000. When that reporter saw that, he said only one thing. And I bet you it was the only thing he could say. He stepped in here, looked up, glory, what a hole, and got its name, the Glory Hole. That's been 106 years ago. And since then, about half the mines around the world, no matter what they're mining, their hotspot got called the Glory Hole after this one. Now, one of the biggest problems that they had mining down here was the fool's gold. Now, all here is a vein of quartz. In the quartz, you can see some shiny stuff. And that shiny stuff is the fool's gold, iron pyrite, too shiny and not yellow. And that made a big problem when you're below the water table where it stays wet. The gold is actually stuck inside the iron. So pretty much the gold is coated. Most mines didn't know that problem. Most mines actually lost about half their gold. Sometimes losing about 90% thinking they got it all. What they would do is blast out the rock, crush it up with a stamp mill, and that powder is washed across mercury to catch the gold. But the problem was over half the gold was in the iron and couldn't touch mercury. Can't touch, can't stick. So they were losing their gold in the iron they're trying to get rid of. Well, the 1890s we called Georgia's second gold rush. Investors were coming in from around the world with brand new mining techniques and equipment. That's how this mine got started. Their investment today will be around $200 million. That's $5 million 100 years ago. Well, their testing discovered an iron problem and fixed it. They called it a chemical problem because rust is a chemical process. So the pyrite was roasted. That burned out the sulfur. The iron and gold was dissolved down with a mixture of chemicals. They used a mixture of like sulfuric acid and chlorine. So basically dissolve it down and get the gold from the solution. So this mine helped discover that problem and the way to fix it and got a 95% recovery when other mines lost half. These guys got a bunch of gold, about double the gold anybody else. But the reason they shut down only 6 years, they discovered that process actually cost more than the gold did. They were getting a lot of gold, but they found out too late they were paying too much for it. They shut it down, they're actually went bankrupt. They shut down $175,000 in debt. They got the gold, just paid too much for it. So that's why we can't mine today. Because of that iron problem, the mines in the Dahlonega Belt are the most expensive in the world to operate. Now there's so much gold in this area, before we got called Lumpkin County, we almost got called El Dorado County. There's that many mines here. The problem is today, it costs too much to get it. So basically these are the most expensive mines in the world to operate. So for any commercial mining to be done in the area, first you've got to wait for the price of gold to go up, or find a cheaper way to fix a problem. I've had folks on my tour from the mines of South Africa, and they have called this place an architectural miracle. Right now, we're about 7 stories underground, 60 feet below our building area. And I always ask folks, how many here think a stick can hold up 7 stories of rock? These guys didn't trust them. They didn't trust wood, they didn't trust metal. They put nothing in to hold the mine up. There is support, because you got to have it, but they didn't put it here. It was already here. And the only thing already here is solid rock. Exactly straight up over my head is our support. That rock column. So they skipped it, left it in, let the mine hold itself up. So leaving something in is more stable than putting something in. The thing is though, that column is part of that giant vein they found. That vein has a lot of gold. That column, we would estimate around 3 ounces to the ton. A commercial mine today only gets a 1/4 ounce a ton. Now to give you an idea of what that is, I have a bottle in my pocket. This is exactly a 1/4 ounce of gold. This is the world's average for a commercial mine for a ton of rock. 1/4 ounce a ton. According to our testing, that column is about 12 times that. But left in for support, very tempting for 15 years here. But I won't be the one to get it out. Left in to hold a mine up. This mine had 2 basic goals. First goal, of course, was to get rich. Well, it went bankrupt instead. Their second goal was basically be the best. Now, to be the best, you gotta hire the best. Architects, engineers, and also a little tiny company we call GE. Here on the ceiling is an insulator. This insulator was made by General Electric. The date on it is September 9th, 1891. This was used to move the mining cars. Electric horsepower, basically DC rail. The same thing as the old trolley system. This tube on the bottom was holding a copper wire. This wire went all the way outside to a water wheel. This wire's your positive, tracks your negative, big giant battery. And in front was an electric motor. Arm flipped up, touch that wire, little sparky power to move them back and forth. So it didn't push them, no horses, no ponies. Got this thing. They used the same power for their electric lights. No candles, no lanterns. They said that was primitive and old-fashioned. Nothing here but simple Edison bulbs. So they had more light down here than we got today. The thing is though, remember what Thomas Edison told a guy named Westinghouse. Edison said DC power won't hurt you. Then why was that the main cause of death down here? Not cave-ins, not dust, not combined. It was DC power. It was only average 1 per week, every week for 6 years. So he was wrong by at least 300.